All right. Welcome back, everyone, and I hope you've had a good lunch and utilized the break well. So for group 6 and 7, please make sure that all your team members are present with us right now. And for the completed groups, let's support and watch the other teams during their sessions, shall we? So diving straight from where we left off before the break, let's move on to our next group for today. Representing the 6th junior group, we have Nur Iman binti Aminuddin, Nathaniel Jose Revilla, Maria Juliana Kevin Martirez, and Zulfa Meila Faiza Haidatu Soliha from the Brainiacs group. So for the team members, please turn on your cameras. Now let's have a look at that video titled Project Nurture. Just 1 second.
In 2012, Southeast Asia produced 202,000 tons of municipal solid waste, or 1.03 kilograms per person per day. And this is predicted to double by 2025. As inhabitants of this degrading Earth, we cannot idly stand by, which is why we give you
Project Nurture.
Hi, I'm Juliana from the Philippines.
Hello, I am Julfa from Indonesia.
I am Naj from the Philippines.
Hi, I'm Iman from Malaysia.
And we are the Brainiacs.
Project Nurture is a proposed plan of action aimed to address the waste production and consumption in countries of ASEAN.
N stands for Nature-Based Solution. The nature-based solution we offer is 3 Household Garbage Plus, abbreviated as 3HGP. It is a simple household waste management system that can convert organic waste into liquid organic fertilizer, compost, and a source of protein for the animal feed in the farm BSF method.
U is for utilize national budget to implement sustainable waste disposal. Obtaining the government support is the game changer in the field of sustainable waste disposal because they can implement projects, programs, and strict rules nationwide. This budget may be allocated to having smart segregation and green treatment.
R stands for Recognize Grassroots Level Causes of Waste. The main cause of accumulation of waste is the lack of self-awareness in the use of single-use items, such as food wrappers and beverage containers. In addition, temporary waste disposal sets are inadequate and pure waste management increases waste until it becomes uncontrollable.
C is for clean and green energy consumption. The goal is to have clean energy take over today's society, and this would start with the new and upcoming industries and communities. They would no longer risk using sources that are dangerous, expensive, and may run out completely. Simply put, clean and green energy is the future.
H stands for Hazardous Waste Management. Disposal of hazardous waste should be done properly according to waste type. The labels on some household products such as paint and pesticide give disposal recommendations that should be read and followed carefully. Factories should implement treatments on the hazardous waste produced before disposal to prevent harm to organisms and the environment.
US unites citizens through international advocacies and improved education. Creating campaigns and advocacies that target spreading awareness regarding the waste situation and management on the international level can help open the eyes of people in society. Enforcing this through improved and integrated education can help people realize their role in being responsible consumers. R stands for Rebuild the Current Packaging Systems. Since excessive packaging leads to the one-time use of resources, rethinking the materials used in packaging products and its sustainability should be the new standard for companies. Harmful packaging practices need to be reconstructed by focusing on minimizing unnecessary waste or pollution while maintaining quality and versatility.
Who will benefit from this project?
Considering that Project Nurture offers solutions sourced and to preserve Mother Nature, all life forms from people to animals living in one shared system with less pollution contributes to the overall improvement of the quality of life. They have the power to change waste management practices to preserve the world as we know it.
The Nurture program could be further investigated by environmental scientists to fund new technology. The government can make special regulation for waste processing using the developed technology.
Nurture ensures a new and improved environment that can be sustained for our future generations. Our future generations deserve to experience a high-quality life where proper waste management is a normal practice in every individual's lives.
SDG 12 was a priority goal in today's world to greatly benefit those who work with garbage. With Nurture, street sweepers and garbage collectors can manage waste safely and more efficiently because this project aims to promote methods and solutions that are both environment-friendly and people-friendly.
Together, we have the power to save Mother Nature by choosing to be more responsible citizens of the earth by how we manage and dispose of our waste.
Fossil fuels, we're coming for you.
All right, wonderful video. Thank you very much to the Brainiacs team. So all of you are here, great. So let's begin. Your 6 minutes pitching session will begin starting from now.
To the judges, fellow future sustainable leaders, and countries of the ASEAN region, a good day to all. I am Nathaniel Revilla from the Philippines, Director of Clean and Green Energy.
I'm Nur Iman from Malaysia, Director of Sustainable Waste Management.
I'm Juliana Martirez from the Philippines, Head of Packaging Systems.
Hello.
And we have our group mate, Zulfa Myla Faiza from Indonesia. She is the head of nature-based solutions.
And we are the Brainiacs.
With the various problems facing our world, one of the most overshadowed issues is waste. Compared to poverty, economy, and the like, waste is only a small part of the picture, the same way we view garbage collectors as a lowly profession. Waste is a problem that can be directly addressed by the people, which is why we chose to focus on this solution so that everyone can take part even in the smallest steps. There are several goals of SDG 12, but the main goal is to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns by 2030.
Consequently, we came up with a project revolving around SDG 12 that paves the way for the implementation of sustainable practices. We give you Project Nurture, a multi-purpose project in the form of an acronym.
So we have the first
Go ahead, Zulfa.
Okay, so we have a first letter, which is nature-based solutions. A tool called the 3 household garbage pearls is a treatment for organic household waste that is simply made out of 2 buckets and 1 tap. The main component processes trash made out of maggots from black soldier flies, a source of protein for animal feed that is abundant in the tropical ASEAN regions. After this, liquid organic fertilizer and compost are produced that can increase crop production and soil quality. The system cuts the need to just transport waste to a landfill to decompose on their own. Proposing the 3HGP as a future solution can address the problem of waste management from the consumer level. Next is letter U, which is utilize the national budget to implement sustainable waste disposal. In reality, sustainable waste management methods are expensive compared to the use of landfills or exporting waste to other countries that are harmful. Waste management comprises of less than 1% of the ASEAN countries' national budget, not being prioritized by the government. For a more sustainable future, the government should see the role in mitigating this concern. Even if executing this may be expensive to do now, it will cost our environment more in the long run.
R stands for Recognize Grassroots Level Causes of Waste. Every problem comes with a solution. Recognizing the grassroots level causes of waste will make it easier to produce new ideas that can solve specific issues. A few causes are inadequate waste disposal sites and poor waste management, which may cause overload of garbage until it scatters all over the surroundings, causing pollution.
C is for clean and green energy consumption. 85% of worldwide energy use is from non-renewable sources. These are dangerous, expensive, and may run out completely. Industries that are already built on non-renewable energy, like oil and coal factories, cannot easily convert to another form of energy. Which is why if we yearn for change, we can start with the new and upcoming industries to symbolize a fresh new generation of energy.
H stands for hazardous waste management. Most people do not take proper hazardous waste disposal into consideration, mainly because they simply perceive them as any other waste. They tend to ignore the product's labels, which have hazard symbols. Soil pollution mostly happens because of hazardous substances, which have heavy metals. In the end, the contaminated soil reduces crop quality, and contaminated groundwater affects the humans who rely on water for drinking.
US unites citizens through international advocacies and improved education. It has been observed that the reason why most people don't know how to properly manage their waste is because of the lack of knowledge and awareness. To change this, it requires the cooperation of all citizens. Hence, international advocacies and improved education, shedding light on waste effects and management solutions, creates all the difference for people to make knowledgeable decisions, yielding a positive environmental gain. And lastly, R stands for Rebuild the Current Packaging Systems. Aside from the consumer usage, a main contributor to why excess waste is produced in the first place is the packaging systems of companies to be aesthetic instead of functional. Materials in excessive packaging become one-time use because people usually throw them away. Thus, these packaging systems should change the standard of products by prioritizing sustainability to minimize the amount of waste production from the start.
Now, who will benefit from this project? First off, the street sweepers or garbage collectors. With Nurture, we aim to promote a set of solutions that are environment and people friendly, to be used by every nation for their garbage situation and to help their garbage collectors. This ranges from basic funds, safety equipment, proper segregation and treatment, and so on.
Government and environmental sciences can create a new technology based on the neutral program. The government can implement a special regulation that very household must have a technology for the safe transporting the earth and infrastructure.
Next is the biosphere, all life forms. All of us would benefit from the project since all organisms are interconnected. If our environmental situation worsens, the usability and quantity of our resources will only decrease or put us in danger, affecting our overall quality of life since nature is what sustains us.
Next is future generations. Now is the time to change our lifestyle into being more responsible in terms of waste management. By practicing nurture in our daily lives, we will surely furnish a generation full of first-class mentality individuals who can improve the well-being of Earth.
To sum it all up, let us all be responsible consumers and producers in everything we do. We Brainiacs hope for a future where everyone is a sustainable leader with the mutual goal to nurture the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the pitching session, Brunex. We will now move forward to the Q&A session. So of course, let's start with Dean Paz, if that is all right with you.
I'll read them out again.
Yes.
Oh. So, thank you very much for that nice presentation. However, parang it's so, how do I describe it? Do you think it would be easy for you to implement your recommendation? Can you, yes, Juliana.
Okay, so starting right now, I don't think it would be the easiest to do because our main barrier would actually be the mentality and what is already being done right now. That is why the project proposal that we are trying to put forward is actually aiming for gradual impact in our society. So integrating these small things in the society that can help people become more knowledgeable and be more aware of their role in making our methods much more sustainable is what we hope to do for. So it won't be easy at the start, but what matters to us is we will start at a small scale and then we will expand.
So while preparing for that big event, as a young or a member of the young generation nowadays, what do you think would be your contribution in the fulfillment of your project? Yes, Nathaniel?
Good day po. So I think our contribution as young as we are is simply active participation in every activity concerning waste consumption and production. If we become active, each and every one of us, that's already small steps. And if all of us create small steps, we can move to the bigger picture. For example, once we start with waste, when we're done with waste, we can move on to the bigger picture, which is global warming and climate change, and so on.
How about the other two? What can you, in your own way, how can you contribute for the fulfillment of your recommendation?
We can contribute by us implementing our project to the people surrounding us. We can start small, as Juliana said. We can start small. We can start from our families. Like, for example, the technology we implement, we talked about in the video. It was created by our member's father, and it was first only used by her father. But then her father managed to convince his other friends to also use it. So I think we could start from there.
And the last one, Miss Supa.
Zufa actually
Can you understand English?
yes. So is it okay?
I will apply the program mature, especially my nature-based solution khususnya. Yes, especially-nya di nature-based solution. Yes, my school.
Okay, okay with that. From what I have heard, I'm seeing a future from our young generation because as you will see, we have this problem on pollution, on waste disposal, and it's very enlightening or very. I am very happy that the young generations really have concerns sa environment because this is the only planet that we have, and I hope that you can continue doing what you have mentioned, that you will be a catalyst for change in your own countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Paz. Let's have now Dr. ID.
Thank you, bro. Okay, thank you, Group 6. Very nice video, by the way. Yeah, I like the.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, the technicality of the videos.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and also, the content-wise, I think on par with other groups. All groups are excellent in terms of content. Okay, so well done for that. Okay, so in your group presentation just now, I mean, I think your group cover quite a broad of initiative. So again, my concern is about which one should you start first, and with the greatest impact. Yeah. So that will be my question, number one. So out of the many initiatives just now you propose, so which one do you think, as a group, will you may begin with that will provide the greatest impact with minimum cost? A very short answer from maybe okay, please, Mr. Revilla.
So, sir, I believe the simplest and priority that we can tackle first is on the waste. Simple waste, garbage, trash, segregation, simple waste, because everyone can take a part of that immediately, as compared to larger scale like green treatment, clean and green energy. Those are bigger scale projects, sub-projects. And what we can do now is focus on something that everyone can be a part of, which is the easiest one, waste.
Okay,
so
thank you.
We'll do that with implementation, and yeah.
Okay, Juliana, which one will be the hardest?
So the one that's going to be the hardest actually is utilize the national budget to reach the government level, because as seen right now, when we look at the statistics of the ASEAN countries, less than 1% of the national budget of the ASEAN countries is allocated for waste management. So we have trillions of money and then only billions, like around 3 billion of money purely goes to waste management. Now, this is going to be the hardest thing to do because to get the attention of the government will be hard. Why? Because when you look at the composition of the national government of different countries, they actually focus on economy, on infrastructure and things like that to develop their country, which is justifiable. But at the same time, we have to remember that where do we get the materials to make these infrastructures? What is the power source that we have to actually fund our businesses and everything? It all goes back to nature. That's why I would like to think that with Project Nurture, we can go back to what we need so that we can sustain it for the longest time as possible. Because if we finish this or diminish our resources, it will be a harder quality of life for everyone, not only people, but even animals. Because we've been, just like what happened recently, Typhoon Odette and all that, Typhoon Odette and the other typhoons, the super typhoons that have hit, we can already see the aggravating of nature in response to what we have been doing to our world. Yeah.
Thank you, Juliana. Iman, because you are still at school, school going student, right?
Yeah,
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 16.
16, so standard lah. Form 4 in Malaysia.
Yeah, I'm from 4.
Okay, so in terms of your school community, which project do you think suitable for you to be carried out at your school level?
I think the nature-based solution, because my school has a mini place where my teachers plant their plants. So maybe the products that are formed from the tool that we talked about could be used for the plants that my teacher planted.
Okay, so you have you ever tested the plant?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, Zulfa, not me, but Zulfa. It's actually
Zulfa.
hers.
Oh, okay. So Zulfa, okay, last question to you lah, yeah. So what herbs have you tested from your school product? You muted. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Before she proceed, may we request for a translation so that she can
Okay, all right. Okay.
maximize her thoughts
She can-
because
Okay,
she actually has difficulty speaking in
Okay, it's
English.
okay. All right, it's okay.
So if we, so she
okay.
can express
Okay,
her thoughts.
Zulfa, di sekolah cikgu tanam pokok ya? Okay, so pokok apa yang Zulfa pernah makan? Produk daripada sekolah ni. Sorry, my question is, at her school, the teacher planted some plants, and then which plant she has, tested lah ataupun try on.
She tried it at home because her dad was the one.
Yeah,
that made it. It's not a school project.
Yes,
It's a treatment for trash
it's
at home.
in her house.
Yeah.
Okay,
And her father
alright,
uses it.
okay, not okay.
Because
lah.
like the BSF flies that are available in tropical countries, her father collected them and then they made it. The BSF flies made the organic waste attract maggots, and then the maggots are like
Okay.
the catalyst to treat the trash into like liquid biodegradable waste.
Okay, alright, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, tak boleh Zulfa.
Oh
it's
wait,
okay.
Zulfa will talk.
Zulfa, okay, Zulfa, okay, say something.
Okay. Boleh ditranslate ya?
Okay.
Nature Based Solution ini saya terinspirasi dari ayah saya, my father. Beliau menerapkan program ini di rumah, awalnya di rumah. Nah, kami tuh punya cita-cita, keluarga kami punya cita-cita bahwa memanfaatkan sebuah sampah menjadi suatu berjuta-juta berlian gitu. Jadi kami mulai dari kemarin ada eco engine juga, dan saat ini karena kami membahasnya SDGs 12, kami membahas tentang pengolahan sampah yang mana sampah ini nantinya kami kelola dari berbasis alam untuk alam gitu. Jadi awalnya kami kelola sampah organik rumah tangga menjadi suatu kompos, terus organik cair, dan juga pakan peternakan berupa BSF Megot. Yang mana hal tersebut dapat membantu pertanian dan juga peternakan. Seperti itu. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you. So a quick translation, what she did, her family is, they collected household waste, and then they put it into compost, then they produce the liquid fertilizer, and also they use this maggot, to produce. So they use that liquid for agriculture, and also for the, the livestock.
And also one more thing, the maggot that were produced, they use it as a source of protein for animal feed.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, Prof. So a little bit over the time. Thank you, Prof. Alan. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. ID. Now, for my question, well, you have presented so many things in order to address the problem on pollution, on waste management, and I have heard some of these already in the past. Now, I'm not saying that they are not good, but I'm trying to decipher what is new and innovative in your proposal. Yes, Juliana.
Okay, so the first thing that is innovative in our proposal is actually we tried to accumulate a lot of things that target different types of waste. So our project actually covers plastic waste, hazardous waste, and organic waste, which are the main components of the MSW production that happens in the ASEAN, which is the statistic that is used that says how much trash is actually accumulated. So what's new about it is that the first thing is the invention of Zulfa when she talked to us about the BSF maggot, because we were shocked that we were from the as people from the Philippines, we didn't know that the BSF fly was actually here in the Philippines and that we can use it to process our trash. Second is in the past, the availability or the how concrete the usability of bioplastic and other materials that can be used to make it more sustainable wasn't as prevalent as before. Unlike now, some countries actually implement this. And then the other thing that we would like to say is also we would like to focus it on a small scale to a large scale, wherein implementation is the main thing. So if implementation happens, it's just like, for example, if you go to McDo or Jollibee here in the Philippines, they will actually require you to use paper straws instead of plastic straws already, which is a small implementation wherein if people actually get used to this, sustainable waste can sustainable methods to treat trash and minimize it will actually start to happen. So we want to start with education to talk to children, because why? Some students don't even know what residual waste mean. They don't know what non-biodegradable and biodegradable waste mean. Then we also have the nature-based solution of sulfa. And then we also want to talk to people that actually have the power to have implementation. Because if people cooperate and have the knowledge to make these decisions, then it would be a step forward.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. Yes, we'd like to add, Nathaniel.
Yes, sir. In relation to what Juliana said about gradual change, our goal is actually a fixed timeline. This is what differs us from other groups. I mean, from other um, aspiring people who want to target waste. Is we want to set a timeline. For example, in the case of clean and green energy consumption, even though renewable energy is safer and much cheap compared to non-renewable energy. The reason why many people don't use it is because it's difficult to convert once you've started. So if you've started with a coal or oil factory, you cannot easily change. So what we want is to set a timeline that, for example, by 2022, all starting businesses or at most starting businesses and industries would already begin with renewable energy. Because the past ones, the ones that have started with non-renewable energy, they can no longer change because it would be difficult on their part. It would be a downgrade to their business, their industry. So we are aiming for change for in specific timeline, such as well as rebuilding the current packaging systems. We have gradual change like the allowance of using paper bags only and boxes here in the Philippines. Instead of plastic, it's slowly becoming mandatory for businesses, groceries, and so on. And that's what we hope for in other ASEAN countries as well.
Okay, thank you. I think Noor has something to add.
In the video, I put a clip of a plastic bottle, and then it transitioned into into a plastic made from plant plastic. It's actually created by someone named Jaden Smith. He is an actor. He has a company, and it's a water bottle company, and he makes his water containers out of plant plastic, which is biodegradable, and that is good.
All right, perhaps we can have Zufa.
Oke, Ima boleh translatekan lagi nggak apa-apa ya?
Okay.
Okay, speak in your own language, then Noor perhaps can translate.
Yes.
Oke. Saya harap dari program Nature Based Solution yang saya kita dikembangkan. Sebenarnya itu adalah satu alat yang mana menghasilkan 3 produk sekaligus yang saya harapkan itu dapat menjadi suatu penemuan atau suatu yang bisa membuat pemerintah membuat kebijakan baru bahwa setiap rumah tangga itu harus memiliki alat tersebut agar bisa meminimalisir sebuah sampah yang nantinya agar tidak terjadi penumpukan di TPA, karena yang saya tahu di tempat pembuangan akhir itu hasilnya hanya untuk diendapkan, hanya berapa persen yang dapat didaur ulang seperti itu. Apalagi ini sistemnya organik, jadi organik itu kadang-kadang susah didaur ulang hanya untuk kayak kompos kayak gitu kan. Jadi kenapa harus dibawa ke yang lebih jauh ketika kita bisa melakukannya di rumah gitu, di setiap rumah yang emang bisa dikelola dengan baik tanpa adanya perpindahan kembali gitu. Terima kasih.
She basically talked about her 3HDP tool, and in summary, she wants it to be a mandatory tool in every household because it can produce the three pearls which are compost, organic fertilizer, and the source of protein. And she thinks that it's mandatory to be in every household because if the waste are managed already in our household, then the temporary waste disposal sites won't have an overload of waste, and that will just help to manage waste more better.
All right, I think I have to go to the next question already in the interest of time. So my last question for you is this. When can we say that you are already hitting your objectives pertaining to your proposal? What could be some indicators that would tell us that you are already attaining your goals? Yes, Juliana?
Okay, so I think the simplest one is that people actually know what biodegradable, residual, and non-biodegradable means. Meaning when they see segregation bins, they're like, OMG, I don't know what to throw here. That would be the first indicator. Second is that in businesses or in restaurant establishments, you would actually see them use more sustainable things. Like for example, they would already use paper spoons and forks, paper straws, wherein there's already a conversion in terms of packaging. Third is in the things that we buy in the market, that for example, when you buy a box, it is not filled with plastic and then cardboard, and then there's another layer of packaging, wherein the people in the company actually think ahead that, yes, we have to have packaging that is functional, at the same time it is simple, that people can use, and that will only yield a small amount of waste. And lastly, I think it can also be seen in our cars, in our automotive vehicles, because if we are going to really push for biofuel or a different source of energy, it would be seen, because why fossil fuels actually are one of the biggest driving force of gasoline, and if cars actually use a different type of fuel, by the time that cars will not only be using this, or it is not the only option, because that's also the problem right now. People do not want to convert to cars that are much more bio-friendly, eco-friendly, because it's expensive. So the moment that those prices are much more accessible to everyone is the time that we see change.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that would be good already, so that apologies, we don't have much time. We have to go to the next group. Thank you so much for your inputs, and of course for joining this competition. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Professor Ellen. So thank you to the team for the wonderful content and for helping your team member to translate for home language as well. And of course, thank you to the judges. So finally, our last junior group for today's event. Let's give a warm welcome to Ideal Ace. The team comprises of Sarah Wong binti Muhammad Arif, Kiana Duntugan, John T. Cabrejas Jr., and Komalasari. For the team members, as usual, please turn on your cameras. Now, let us watch the team's video on Dear Stranger.
Our fight against mental health and acting out from the lack of education is helping every person feel safe and understood.
Feeling seen, cared for, and connected.
I am Kiana Duntugan.
I am Sarah Wong.
I am Kolasari.
And I am John T. Cabrejas Jr.,
advocating a healthy and safe environment towards sustainable development.
We are currently living amidst what is potentially one of the greatest threats in our lifetime to global education, the threat of the end coronavirus.
The strike of the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a huge impact in our daily lives. Not only did it affect our daily lives, but it has also affected the educational system internationally. More than 1.6 billion children and youth from around the world are out of school mainly because of this pandemic.
Due to the new world setting, our educational system has made a huge transition. Schools were closed and were not allowed to operate due to the widespread of the virus. And because of that, students were forced to attend online classes just to comply with the new state of our educational system.
Students were left with no choice but to face the new realm of what we call life through education.
With the urge we have for educational development, we are neglecting the state of our mental health.
Online education has drastically changed the way students study. Attending classes using our ultraviolet ray emitting devices have led to a string of mental and physical issues both for students and teachers.
Lack of learning interest, stress and anxiety, eyesight problems, bad ergonomics or back problems, and fatigue.
Not to mention the lack of physical activities and constant skipping of meals.
Because of the vulnerability of students to these issues, their mental state of mind is also getting affected.
Hopelessness, depression, and worse, suicidal thoughts. With these pressing concerns our current world is facing, let's do our part to make a good start. We introduce to you the Dear Stranger Project. Dear Stranger is a recurring letter exchange project that connects people from around the world to share their experiences, beliefs, and ideas. In line with this, we plan to use this project to hear from our fellow students and fellow people that are discouraged, burned out, depressed, and even suicidal. We will invite passionate and willing professional social workers to collaborate with us since they have mastered the ways of how a person thinks and understands. Every time someone, may it be a student, a teacher, or even professionals, suddenly feel discouraged, lost, tired, and unpleasant, at the convenience of their time, they can send an email to idealace.dearstranger@gmail.com. We, the Team Ideal Ace and the professional social workers, are behind this email. The sender will instantly receive a response from us in which they can talk to and speak their hearts out, so that they will eventually come to realize that they are not alone and someone is always willing to listen, engage in conversation, and take counsel. We aim for the fruition of sustainability in the perspective of saving one's life. And through this platform, we will serve as role models for our co-future able leaders because as young as we are, we always believe that every voice heard is a life change. Lastly is the provision of an effective, clean, and safe environment. Under this system, our team will ask for commitments from local and national world leaders to collaborate with our programs, one of which is the Clean and Green program that aims to make a healthy, clean, and safe environment for the people through our collective effort and perseverance.
It seems impossible that the average person can make an impact. But should you just give up?
No, change starts with you. Every human on earth, even the most indifferent person among us, is part of the solution. Fortunately, there are always easy things that we can adapt into our routines that if we all do it, will make a big difference. This has been John,
Sarah,
Komalasari,
and Kiana, your inspired, dedicated, and empowered future sustainable leaders.
All right, thank you very much to the Ideal Ace team. So I can see that the three of you are here now. So do we have Komalasari with us right now? All right, here she is. Okay, so the team may begin your pitching session starting from now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You may begin.
Okay, should I start, sir?
We
Yes,
can
please. Please begin.
Okay.
So your presentation is
Um,
about mental health.
Dean Pass, I
Yes.
think they have to have their pitching first.
Yes.
They have their
Sorry,
spills first.
I thought we are through with the.
Yeah, it's all right, Dean
Yeah.
Paz.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay,
For the
should I
same,
Go
start?
ahead.
yeah.
John, you are to say something?
Yes, sir. To the highly esteemed Board of Judges, to our beloved audiences, respected organizers, and our fellow able leaders, greetings
Um,
and a pleasant day to each team inspired, dedicated, and empowered active leaders. I am John P. Cabras Jr.
I am Sarah Wong.
I am Kiana Duntugan.
you're on mute.
I am Kiana Duntugan.
And I'm Kamala Sari.
And we have chosen to study Sustainable Development Goals number 3 and Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education, health, and well-being.
SDG 3 and SDG 4 are some of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations in 2015. SDG 3, which is health and well-being, aims to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all ages, whereas SDG 4 is quality education that aims to ensure that all girls and boys complete free primary and secondary schooling by 2030. It also aims to eliminate gender and wealth disparities and achieve universal access to quality higher education.
I'm sure that everyone here is well aware of the current situation where the coronavirus has affected our daily lives enormously. We can gather around as we used to, and everything we do has become limited. It has made us all frustrated, hopeless, and afraid. Some people struggle to express their phrase, the emotion that's causing their mental health to decline.
With that being said, we have come up with a project called the Dear Stranger Project. This project is a recurring letter exchange project that aims to connect people from around the world to share their experiences, beliefs, and ideas. We plan to use this project to hear from our fellow students and fellow people who are discouraged, burned out, depressed, and even suicidal. We will invite school counselors, teachers, and professional psychiatrists to collaborate with us since they have mastered the ways of how a person or a student thinks and understands.
Every time someone, may it be a student, a teacher, or even professionals that suddenly felt discouraged, tired, lost, and unpleasant, at the convenience of their time, they can send an email to idealace.dearstranger@gmail.com. The sender will instantly receive a response in which they can talk to and speak their hearts out. Hopefully, through this project, they will come to realize that they are not alone and someone is always willing to listen, engage in conversation, and take counsel. We aim for the fusion of sustainability in the perspective of saving one's life. And also, through this platform, we will serve as role models for our co-futurable leaders. And because as young as we are, we always believe that every voice heard is a life changed.
Besides mental health, education has always been a major issue change. It's the root of everyone's success and future. Due to the pandemic, more than 1.6 billion children and youth from around the world are out of school. Not only that, our educational system has made a huge transition. School were closed and were not allowed to operate due to the widespread of the virus. And because of that, students were forced to attend online classes just to comply with the new state of our educational system.
With this being said, students have to study and learn at home. Some may be fortunate to have a clean and safe environment to study in, while some struggle to do so as they may be living in a small and unsafe environment due to the pandemic.
That is why we suggest the provision of an effective, clean, and safe environment for our co-students. Under this system or plan of ours, our team will ask for commitments from local and national governments or world leaders to collaborate with our programs, one of which is the Clean and Green program that aims to make a healthy, clean, and safe environment for the students through our collective effort and perseverance.
Other than that, we also encourage non-government officials to organize a campaign in which those who have extra devices such as laptop or cell phone can donate them to those in need of a device for their online classes. That way, everyone can have a chance to attend online classes without having to worry about the lack of devices or having to take turns sharing one device with their siblings.
Lastly is the feedback. Every month when the program concludes, the organizers will report their feedback on the accomplishment and challenges of programs and sessions. By doing this, we can continuously strive for improvement. This part of the team's proposed system will leave no stones unturned.
Sustaining quality education, health and well-being, and all the remaining global goals are important world-changing objectives that will require the cooperation not only among governments, international organizations, and world leaders, but also among youth to support other youth.
In conclusion, we hope that all parties mentioned in our proposed solutions will contribute eagerly in shining light to those affected by the pandemic and in hopes of achieving Sustainable Development Goals number 3 and Sustainable Development Goal number 4 for a future of educated and mentally healthy young future leaders. Thank you, and may God Almighty bless us all.
All right, thank you very much to the Ideal ACE team. Now, of course, let's begin with the Q&A session from our panel of judges. Dinpaz, you may pick up from where you left off just now.
So, okay na.
Yes.
So we come to the last group. And as I mentioned, I am very happy that our the young generation nowadays they are very active. They know the problems confronting their countries, and they have prepared or they have these proposals to improve. Now, so you also centered on about mental health, on quality education, and you have that one particular proposal that what do you call that? The application or in which the students would be logging in if they have problems. Isn't it not? Yes. Would that be your first? Now, my question is, since you are composed of different, you are grouped into, you have the Philippines, you have the Malaysian, I think, and the Indonesian. What would be your initial step to implement your project, your first project, or your first proposal, that internet thing? How are you going to do it?
Although, ma'am,
Yes.
we came from different countries, that is also a strength for us because we will, if only one country is implementing this solution, it is only limited to the whole country. But if it is implemented in all of our countries, and we also invite other countries to participate in our solution as well, we can make a great impact through this solution.
Okay, thank you very much. Somebody is raising your hand, Miss Gantungan. Yes.
So for our initial plan, it would be great to start with our own schools. So currently, some of us are student leaders in our school. So I believe that is a great platform for us to initialize or to start this program. So firstly, we have direct communication or interaction to our schoolmates, and may it be online or may it be virtually or physically, we still have interaction with them. And with that, we know, or we as leaders know where to provide something or where we could give something to them. And with the Dear Stranger project, we can So if we will start the Dear Stranger project within our own schools, or for example, in my own school, we know where we will lack, where we can provide and we can give to the students, and also it will escalate to a greater scale, which is which is first the Philippines, and then to Malaysia, and then so on and so forth. So the initial plan for me is to start within our own schools.
You're on mute, Dean Pass.
There was a background noise, lady. So
Okay.
with that, again, I repeat, it's very inspiring to hear that the young generation nowadays are very much involved on how we can improve our way of life, the educational system, and as our national hero, Jose Rizal had mentioned, the hope of our fatherland is the youth or the young generation, and you are the example of that. So thank you very much and congratulations. Good luck to the implementation of your project. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Pass. Let's now go to Dr. ID.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Group 7. You are the last group. Usually the last group ni usually are the lucky group kan. Because everybody wants to finish early. But I'm not sure whether you are the fortunate or the unfortunate one. Alright, okay, tak apa. Okay, taking from the points by Dun Tugan, right? Kiana, right? Just now you said, okay, you will start the project among your school members here. Because you said, because majority of you are school leaders. So my question now, I want to ask Sarah, Sarah? Okay,
Yes,
Sarah Wong, Okay,
yes.
so do you think, what are the challenges? Let's say if you want to begin this project at your school, so what are maybe 1 or 2 challenges that you think you will be facing?
One of the challenge is whether the students want to express their feelings or not. Some of them prefer keeping in, some of them feel uncomfortable talking their own personal feelings to others. So it's hard to get them to want to initiate this project, for them to like, I want to speak to a stranger, I want to express my feelings, when all they want was to express, is to keep their feelings to themselves.
Okay, then how, what are the creative way for you, I mean your group, the creative way from your group to overcome that issues?
Overcome. That's a hard thing to overcome, but to overcome this, I think you have to start approaching with your close friends first. You ask your close friends like how they feeling from time to time, and then slowly they will feel like, oh, they actually care. They want to know how I feel. They want to help me, and they will start to initiate with this dear stranger. So they will text online like, oh, I feel like this, I feel like that. And then once they feel better and they see their other friends getting sad, depressed, or anything, they can like recommend to their friends, yeah, I tried this before, it really helped me. Maybe you should try it too. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Komalasari?
Komalasari? Komalasari, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Komalasari, because in this group there are, I mean, you got new friends, right? You have Sarah, you have Kiana, right? And also John, yeah? Okay, before this, do you get to know them?
Well, the challenge here is the lack of consent for students in participating organizations or forums. I will have to able to socialize this project to my friends.
Okay, all right. No, macam ni. Komalasari, my question is, in this project, you got to know 3 new friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can. All right. So how do you see this new friendship can be utilized, can be used to move your project inter-country? Because just now, Sarah and Kiana was talking about doing the project at their school. But how do you see you can go beyond your school and the country, because you already have 3 friends, right, from 2 different countries? How can you initiate this opportunity of friendship into your project? Nanti Sarah ya kejap. Let Komalasari dulu. Komalasari, do you got my point?
I'm sorry, can you translate that because she also struggles
Okay,
with
alright, okay. Komalasari macam ni?
Making a website
Okay, alright.
for
Okay, macam ni. Komalasari macam ni.
Yes.
Okay, so I say in bahasa Malaysia ya.
Ya.
Okay, macam ni.
Membuat website
Okay.
untuk menampung semua keluh kesah ya aspirasi yang dikirim ke email yang telah kami sediakan.
Okay. Okay, macam ni. Tak apa. Sarah, do you want to translate that?
I don't really, some Indonesian words I can understand, so I'm afraid I
Okay,
can't.
alright, okay, tak apa. Okay, it's okay, tak apa. It's due to the language, tak apa. It's okay. It's good attempt, Komalasari. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So I will ask John. Yeah, the same question, John. Okay, John Junior. Yeah. Okay. So just now
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, your two friends mentioned that this project can be done at the school level.
Yes,
the
sir.
reason I ask this only on this issue because your group proposed only one project though. Only one means, one way only by having these letters to stranger, right? There is no other initiative.
Yes,
okay, so because of that, because of the weightage is only one project. So how can you make impactful effort ataupun impactful result, from this project? Okay, just now your friend already talked at the school level. So how can you leverage on your friendship with Sarah, with Komalasari from two different countries to be put into this project? It's good, I think, if your friends from your country can have the opportunity to interact with other friends in different countries. So how do you use this opportunity to be put into your project? Okay, Ja, thank you.
Okay. First of all, sir, our solution is not only exclusive as one. Under our solution, which is the Dear Stranger project, it is also categorized into subsets, at which we also have one as for the provision of a healthy, clean, and safe environment. And then we also have the second subset that is for the clean and green program, that environment through our collective effort and perseverance. So going back to your question, sir, you have asked if what will be implement or how can we make great impact out of our solution? Well, at the first time, sir, that me, Sarah, and Kamalazari and Kiana connected with each other, we were like it was like three birds in a string, sir, but they are not communicating. We are still struggling of how should we start our conversation, but at some time, sir, we were able to establish good relationship with each other. So we will apply this, sir, in our solution also. That if the four of us came from different countries and in the first time that we don't even know each other, we were able to establish good relationship. That would also be possible, sir, in other countries or institutions or even organizations, sir, from around the world.
Okay, so you were saying that this will be the opportunity you should be look at, right?
Yes, sir.
Don't limit the effort at your school level only. I think getting to know people or friends from other countries will also accelerate, expedite. The social well-being support. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, by leveraging on the technology also. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. ID. Let me just give you some of my questions. Well, let me just ask you, aren't the current government interventions not enough to address this SDG that you have presented to us this afternoon?
We are not saying, sir, that the governments or the local governments, sir, from our respective homes are not doing their best. What we are trying to imply with you, sir, is for improvements. If there are still room for improvements, we should utilize them. that's why we have also established in our video, we have showed in our video that we will leave no stones unturned. If there are possibilities for improvement, we will take it, no matter what, sir.
Okay, I think Kiana has something to say.
With the Dear Stranger project, sir, there will be a direct interaction with a student. And as far as I know, within my knowledge in the Philippine government, I believe that there is no direct interaction programs that would suffice for the students' need, and it is only within schools. So with this project, we can implement it in a larger scale. And with this Dear Stranger project also, we can talk to the students directly, and they would be able to voice out their opinions or their beliefs or their thoughts during this online learning in this pandemic. And with lastly, with the Dear Stranger project, once we know the students lack in terms of education, it would also be of help to the government, and they will have an idea on where to reach out or where to provide po. So,
Okay, thank you, Kiana. Sarah, you are recognized.
Just like Kiana said before, through this Dear Stranger, we can interact with the students, get to know their opinions and their thoughts. Because sometimes some students' thoughts may not add up to what something that can solve a problem. So if we add a lot of students' opinion into one, add it all up, maybe you can make it into a big solution to solve. Because sometimes one opinion cannot solve a huge problem. So maybe multiple opinions became one can solve this huge problem from the students.
Okay, thank you. So,
Okay, sir. Just
go ahead.
just to add, sir, with Sarah and Kia, sir, um, if the students are hesitating, I mean, to send their feelings or on our solution, which is the Dear Stranger project, we have secured their security, sir, that we will not let anyone know who or what or when did they send that certain message. In that way, sir, they will know that they are safe, sir, and they are always listened to.
Okay, so I think you're trying to emphasize on confidentiality, right?
Yes, sir. That's it,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Which is I think one of the things that we ought to consider really, because different students have different personalities. And I don't think
Yes, sir.
everybody would be willing to be approaching an organization or an office in your respective school to thresh out his or her concern. Apart from that, are there other mechanisms that you would like to introduce to make your proposal appealing to your fellow students in the spirit again of improving now the quality of education in your school, in your country, and in the ASEAN region?
Yes, sir. So you may wonder, sir, what connects quality education to our solution, which is the Dear Stranger project. Well, we have made to operationalize this plan so that we can secure the mental health of students first. If they are mentally stable, they are also physically productive in all things that they do. That's why this solution is a great one out of not of totally everything, but out of all the existing ones out there. From your question, sir, you have asked if um, how can we make this program totally known to what was that, sir?
Appealing.
Am I right, sir?
How can you make your proposal appealing or attractive
Yes, sir.
to your students, to your fellow students?
Given, sir, that at our school, sir, the organizations were totally lacking, sir, out of activities and the things that we want to do, sir. That's why we would like to collaborate with different organizations in our schools and even in also local governments, sir, and our local homes. if we ask for, if we collaborate with them, sir, we will the the what was this? I mean the scope, sir. We will be able to widen the scope, sir, of our solution, setting no barriers, sir.
Okay, anybody would like to add to that? So yes, Komalasari. I hope I got your name right.
Our focus is on the physical of mental health of students due to the pandemic. In this letter exchange program, it has hope that everyone feels they have friends and strengthens each other.
It's okay.
Our focus is on the physical and mental health of students due to the pandemic. In this letter exchange program, it is hoped that everyone feels they have friends and strengthens each other.
Okay. Any more? And perhaps you don't limit yourselves to your country. You can again collaborate with your counterparts in the other countries, especially in the ASEAN region. Okay, so with that said, thank you so much for your time, for your effort in this competition, and we wish you all the best in all your endeavors. And I hope that in part or in whole, you'll be able to execute whatever proposals you made this afternoon. With that said, I bring you back our moderator.
Thank you, Professor Allen. So thank you and well done to the Ideal Ace team on your session. So ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of our session for the day. Thank you very much to our dedicated junior participants for your hard work and the panel of judges, of course, for their evaluations. Before we end the junior pitching session, I would like to invite our head judge, Professor Alan Frank Silva, to give his concluding remarks. Professor Allen, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So first and foremost, I would like to congratulate everybody for doing their best in this competition. Great job, guys. And we are very happy that you know what is happening in our region, especially along the area of sustainable development goals. And as one show says in its spills, knowing is half the battle. And I think you are successful along that line. And one thing that we have appreciated in what we have heard today is that all of you have that sense of creativity and innovation to make your proposal work. And the only thing, though, that we should be working on, and this is not easy, is that on the assessment of the impact of your proposal. It is not enough that you just rely on observation. There has to be a certain tool, a certain rubrics, if I may, so that it is more objective in determining whether you have reached your goals or not. And I would like to end this by saying that I would like to quote Dean Paz Bobadilla when she said that we should be catalysts of change. And I do agree with that. It is through being catalysts of change that we would be able to address in part and hopefully as a whole the different problems as embodied in the SDGs. And it's not enough to be enumerating this and that project. As I have been asking some of you earlier, we have to make it appealing, attractive, so that we can get the support of your peers, of the government, and perhaps of the bigger organizations like no less than the United Nations. So continue to think globally, guys, and I agree with you, we have to act locally. So once again, thank you so much for joining our ASEAN Future Sustainable Leaders competition. And all the best. God bless you always. Back to you, to our moderator.
Thank you, Professor Allen. So thank you very much for wrapping up the session. So ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of our event, and congratulations to all the teams today. On behalf of the organizer, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to the notable panel of judges, participants, lecturers, and staff for your time and presence. And thank you to those who have contributed to this event. And for the panel of judges, after this event, you may head on to the VIP room. So I am your host, Nazhan Ahmad. Have a nice day and please stay safe, everyone. Thank you and goodbye.
Happy holidays.
Happy
And
holidays, Professor.
see you during the announcement of winners.
See you.
Chase down a brand new adventure. Step up, step out and enter. No time for stalling. The wild is calling. When you risk it all, you learn to feel alive. Searching for new life. Reaching for new heights. Into the daylight. Open your eyes.